Sipping 100 proof, lean the drop like I'm gold. Hold them chickens off the coop, that's because we got no rum. Shorty burnt the fucking seats, this the rental, so it's cool. I can't bring y'all in the rules, cause this the type of shit they do. Plus you be acting new, I'm the brand, Gucci suit. Leave that scheming shit to me, leave your team, blow some trees. 100 bitches on their knees, screaming out, Billy B. I don't like to cause a scene, but I want you out them jeans. Baby, put you on my life. Baby, take you out of line. Champagne bottles all night. Talk about me, baby girl, let's live. I've been smoking all my worries away. Taking but I wanna stay. Trying to smoke a bump, but you acting gay. Honey, promise, baby, you won't be played. Smoking all my worries away. What's going on here?
Oh, that's too bad. Oh, you thought the police were gonna do something. That's terrible. That's just terrible. I got a better life than you, and I make more money than you, and I got a better car, a better house than you. Go take care of your son. He looks like he's hungry, you lazy bum. Whoa, get out of here.
What's going on here? It's June.
I like how dramatic you are.
Masshole Mitch back in the spot. Matty Mo, okay, Sergeant Doofy, what's up?
What up?
I am fired up.
Yes, I'm
I
excited.
am fired up. That was I don't know if that whole intro was just for myself or for everybody or what, but I'm ready to go now.
Listen, I don't know about you, but I haven't gotten that hard since the first time I saw boobies.
Oh, so what's going on? What's up, everybody?
Absolutely nothing. How you been, my friend?
I've been all right. Just been busy doing some other stuff, but I'm gonna try and get on when I can, till I'm good to go back full time. But yeah, what's up, everybody in the comments? So yeah,
we're here today to mourn the loss of Auditing the USA.
Yes.
I was not going to miss this for the world.
Yeah. All right. So a little backstory on this. Probably about a month and a half ago, we got a tip that something crazy had gone down in Lynnwood, Washington, which, by the way, shout out to Lynnwood, Washington Police Department, Seattle Police Department, Bellevue Police Department, all those police departments that have to deal with this lazy fat prick on a regular basis. So shout out to you. We see you. We feel for you. We support you. And fuck Glenn.
100%.
All right. So
fuck Glenn.
Yep. So about a month and a half ago, we get a tip. This all started when there was a fire in Lynnwood, Washington. Okay. There was an old, I think it was an old junkyard building. But anyway, it caught fire, and this is it right here. Building at a former junkyard burns in Lynnwood. This was on April 7th.
Thanks, Ed.
So we saw that, and okay. Kate, are you on StreamYard too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how that happened.
I was just really weirded out because the comments were going on the screen by itself. I was like, whoa. All right. That makes sense. So anyway, there was a fire. All right. They put the fire out because they thought that somebody had set the fire, an arson. So therefore, the police department had to put up a detail overnight because they weren't able to finish the investigation in one day. So they had to hold up overnight till daylight came back so they could continue the investigation the next day. Overnight, Glenn Cerio decides to pay the officer a visit and do an audit on this officer, and they had a confrontation, and that's pretty much where our whole story comes into play. Now, I don't know, Glenn has hinted at this video and at this night a couple different times recently. He's talked about it, but he has pretty much not, told far from the truth. I mean, he's got his own little way that it went down in his head and that he says it went down. What should we do? Should we read the reports first, or you want me to play Glenn's version of events first?
We'll give Glenn's side of the story first. I would like to point out that he obviously knows what he did was wrong because he's hiding it.
Yeah. So Glenn always puts out his videos, and for obvious reasons, as you'll see, he hasn't put out this video. But unlucky for him, we have our hands on it.
We do. We do.
All right, so here's Glenn's versions. He's brought it up. You guys may have already heard him talk about this a couple different times, and you probably didn't really know what he was talking about because he hasn't showed anything about it. But let me just play the few hints that he's dropped throughout the way about this night and talking about the officers. And then we'll get into the police reports, and then we will get pussy pudding from Mitch. I'm sorry. And then we'll get into the grand finale. So here we go. All right, so here's the video. So this is what Glenn has talked about a couple times recently.
Oh, that was like 3 a.m. I didn't even know you were there. I couldn't even see who was in the car. But Burke came at me with a rage. Did you? You haven't seen the video probably, unless someone sent it to you.
Have you posted it?
No, I'm not gonna post that. Why would I post that?
Why not?
Because
post everything else.
Because your Burke had a rage.
That's perfect for you though, right? Like, don't you want to show these officers in their most heated moments? I mean, you
do, but most of it was me over the fence, peeking over the fence, bad mouthing you guys. So I mean,
think about it. If Burke is in a rage, okay, like the whole point of you doing the recording, right, is to see if you can provoke one of us into doing something that would make us look bad, right?
Right.
So, like, I mean, if he's in a rage, like, why would you post that?
Because I was on private property, but technically
All
he
right,
can't
so
trust.
so this cop is calling him out. He's like, listen, like why wouldn't you post it? You know, you post everything else. How come all of a sudden you're not posting this? So the cop, this is a Lynnwood police officer, by the way, and the cop's he's talking about it, and you know, he's asking him why, and he's giving a runaround story like, oh, Burke was in a rage, and the cop's right. If he got a cop in a rage, like, why, that'd be the first thing he did. He would run home and post it. You know what I mean? But all right, so that's that. Here, let me finish out this.
Past me because he doesn't have the authority, because he doesn't have the owner's permission or the whoever's permission. You can, because supposedly it's a crime scene, but it's an old crime scene, right? It's something that's been there for how long? I don't know how long it's been there, but technically, you know, it's not, you know, nothing.
So was it? I don't know. I mean, was it an old crime scene or?
To me, it looked old. To me, it looked like it was already sprayed down with water or some shit, like moist wood, moist burnt wood, you know? So obviously it wasn't fucking recent. So, but that's funny that Burke tried to call the FBI.
I don't know.
I thought it was no. They told me.
I don't know anyone that called the FBI.
They told me.
So they called you?
They called me. They told me. I had to go in there. I had to go talk to them. And they told me you guys did it. They told me straight up, Lynnwood PD did it.
Well, I didn't do it, Glenn.
And I can name the person, but I'm not going to throw them under the bus like that.
You can name who called?
Well, I can name who called me from the FBI.
Oh.
But I'm not going to, he seems like a pretty good guy, so I'm not going to put his name out there. So.
Are you going to post this one?
Of course.
How many views do you think we'll get?
I've been getting anywhere from 10 to 80. So it could be, 20, it could be 40, it could be 60. You never know, man. You guys make the videos. Like, if you start doing push-ups or sit-ups, maybe that will get you your 150.
Say moist. Somebody said moist. I heard moist. Moist wood.
Yep.
Yeah, he said that it has to be an old crime scene because there was moist, which is just, I mean, that's retarded. Obviously, the wood is still quote unquote moist, then they just put the fire out. Like,
it's still smoking, but it's old. All right, so that's the first one. In that same video too, still talking to the same cop, and I give credit to this cop. And you could tell he was fishing for things he could use against him, fishing for him to say the wrong thing and trying to get information out of him, acting cool with him, but, trying to get him to talk about the situation because, as you'll find out, there is an open investigation on it.
Yes, there is.
All right, here's the second one.
Right? Burke that was going off at the mouth. Burke was going off at the mouth, and he was threatening to some pretty crazy shit, man. And that's the thing, like, you're a cop, okay, but you don't make threats to people. You can't threaten.
All right,
people,
so I want everyone to remember that Burke was going off. Burke was saying some crazy shit. Burke was saying some things that you shouldn't say, threatening and all that. Remember that Glenn said that, okay?
That's his version.
He threatened to, like, arrest me and take me down or something, and, some other crap,
But you were on private property.
So that's all he had to say is, hey, go. But you don't need to get in my face and then start almost putting hands on me. Like, we're a good distance, right? Would you say we're a good distance?
Sure.
Okay, so what if I'm right in your face and I'm pushing you back? That's not good, right? That's what Burke did.
He got up in your face and pushed you?
Oh, yeah. He didn't touch me, but he almost touched me. Like, he literally was, like, chest to chest with me. Like, Burke is... I still have the video. I can post it. I've been waiting, and I don't edit my videos like other people. So what you see is what you get. So you'll get everything.
Oh, that's right, Glenn. That's right. What you see is what you get. We're going to get everything.
All right.
Yep. You're heading out.
See you on the next one, I guess.
See you on the next one.
Or you can't be going to bed already, right?
try to straighten out Burke and Korea. See, that's the problem. Doing all this auditing, I'm learning all your names. Even Harris. I remember Harris.
Remember his name?
That's Hem.
I'm good.
No, Helm.
Yeah.
Helm, right?
Right. Okay, Glenn.
Yeah. All right, man.
Good night.
You too.
All right, that's that one. And then the last one I have. So because they're talking about that, and then the last one I talked, you notice he talked about the FBI investigating him. This is a little bit more on the FBI.
Okay. How about this? Why did you guys call the FBI on me? Don't say you didn't, because I was told you did. So, yeah, you were part of that, weren't you?
I didn't call the FBI.
They called the FBI on me. Yes, they did.
What did the FBI say?
I'm not gonna say, but they contacted me. They wanted to know. Yeah.
And what? They wanted the video or something?
They wanted that video. Yeah. Because I think you guys said I was a suspect or a potential suspect. So you lied. You lied to the FBI. That's really bad. So I hope it wasn't you that made that call. I hope it was Burke that made that mistake.
I don't call the FBI.
Well, someone did. And I don't think they called it. They must have emailed it or something. You guys have a connection, you know? Because the FBI just doesn't contact you out of nowhere, you know? It's really strange for that to happen. And then they tell me how they got my number and everything.
How they
Lynnwood,
get your number?
Lynnwood PD.
Not me, though, right?
They didn't say a name, but they said that it was the situation with Burke.
Yeah.
So, you know, whoever filled out a report and said I was a suspect in whatever arson or whatever that was, you know?
They said you were a suspect in the arson?
They didn't say I was, but I could tell that. Why else would they contact?
Yeah, that's all right. That's it for that one. All right, so that's the few times that Glenn has brought this up. I mean, as you're gonna see, he's stretching the truth big time, lying, making it seem like, you know, nothing bad happened that night. But we got a hold of about a month and a half ago. We put in for some FOIA requests. We got them. Took a while because of the whole COVID thing, but we got them, and we are ready to share them. And this is crazy stuff. All right. So basically, go ahead, Kate.
I was gonna say it's horrible, enraging stuff, is what it is.
Yeah. Basically, what it comes down to is Glenn is an absolute fucking racist. Is what it comes down to. And we're gonna provide, you know, proof of that. We're gonna provide the facts of that, and we're going to show it all and read it all, and that's what it comes down to. And if anyone's supporting this guy after you hear this stuff, I don't see how you can, really, you know, what few supporters he has.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, all right, especially, you know, right now with everything going on, you know, this is pretty heavy shit. All right.
Oh, listen, Glenn's voice sounds like what it feels like to go through coronavirus, I think.
Yeah.
He's fucking terrible. Fuck him.
Yeah. So, the whole thing of it too, Glenn got charged with a crime. He got charged with obstructing police officers for that night. Basically, the obstruction charge was given to him because he did, as I said, these cops were on an overnight detail trying to keep a crime scene secure from a possible arson. And Glenn goes waltzing in there, distracting them from their duties, pulling them from their posts. And basically, he got charged with obstruction because he was obstructing the police officers from doing their job of keeping that scene secure. While they were dealing with him, they had to leave. They weren't able to do, and they were saying, basically, as you'll read in the report, that, you know, basically, while they were talking to Glenn, anyone could have walked in there and messed with the crime scene and all that. So, you know, that's where the obstruction part comes. But that's not, honestly, that's not even the main focus of what this is all about. That was just an extra bonus to all this, where Glenn got charged with it. So he does have that charge. right now, as you can see right here, obstructing law enforcement officer. All right, so
He does
y'all
not
ready?
weigh 220 pounds.
Yeah, I think that's a little light.
Way light.
Yeah.
Yeah, he weighs 220. Yeah. 220. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Kate, are you ready? You got anything to say before we dive into this, or?
I'm ready.
All right. All right. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this, right? Kind of put everybody there, and then we're going to get to watch it for our own, and we can tell, how spot on this police report is. So if there's any doubt in anyone's mind, which I doubt there is, or if Glenn tries to come back and say, "Oh, that police report's a lie," as the frauditors tend to do, that, "Oh, police reports aren't fact." This is fact. It's absolutely fact. All right. So let's get into it here. All right. So on 4/8/20, Officer Galloway was on routine patrol in the 18100 of Highway 99, the city of Lynnwood. How the hell do you say that name? Snohomish County. The time was approximately 1:15 hours, and I was in full police uniform driving a semi-marked patrol vehicle. The previous day, LPD officers had responded to a 2-alarm fire at a commercial structure located at 18100 Highway 99. The building was a complete loss, unstable, and the roof had collapsed. Investigators had been working at the scene because they could not rule out that someone may have been inside during the fire. They worked all day and into the evening before having to stop for the night. Investigators determined they would need to return the following day to complete the investigation. They requested LPD patrol officers remain in the incident location overnight to maintain scene security. The building and the parking lot was encircled by a 7-foot temporary fence to keep people out. The fence had 2 access points, approximately the size for a vehicle to travel through in case the fire department needed to return to put out flare-ups. Given the unstable condition of the completely burnt-out structure and the parking lot and the building being fenced off, no reasonable person would think it would be okay or necessary to walk through the fencing at 1:15 hours to approach the unstable building. At the time of the incident, LPD Officer Burke was on scene maintaining scene security. As I was driving by, I noticed a male subject standing in the parking lot within the fenced-off area. It was apparent that he had accessed the lot through one of the access points. He was standing approximately 15 to 20 feet away from the unstable building that had caught fire. He appeared to be recording the location with a cell phone that was connected to a selfie stick. As I got closer, I recognized the subject. I was able to identify him as Glenn R. Cerio, date of birth 10/6/86. Glenn is well known to the LPD law enforcement and agencies around the Puget Sound. Glenn currently has a caution listed on him through NCIC, is listed as a violent person and a threat to law enforcement. We have received officer safety bulletins regarding him. On numerous occasions, Glenn has shown up at locations where police officers are conducting official business just to harass them. He will typically stand nearby, yell obscenities, and try to provoke officers into arresting him. He has also been... Hold on one second. Here we go. Much better. All right. He just to harass him. He would typically stand by, yell obscenities, and try to provoke officers into arresting him. He has also been known to sneak up on officers in their patrol vehicles and begin verbally assaulting them. Additionally, Glenn will approach officers on the street, come within close proximity, and stand on their gun side. This is alarming to law enforcement officers as we are trained to reposition ourselves so our guns are not within arm's reach of unknown individuals. Glenn will then post edited versions of these videos on his YouTube channel, which is titled Auditing the USA, where he has dozens of videos of him confronting unsuspecting law enforcement officers. All right. Let me zoom in a little bit here. There we go. All right. Let's see. I advised Officer Burke that Glenn was within the fenced-off area. Officer Burke advised that he saw him and was about to contact him. Officer Burke approached Glenn and told him he needed to leave the lot, and it was a crime scene. I was still in my patrol vehicle, so I could not hear what words were exchanged during their interaction. See Officer Burke's narrative for further details. I then rolled down my windows as I had pulled into the parking lot. I could hear Glenn yelling at Officer Burke from the sidewalk. All right, this is where it starts to get really, really disturbing. Let me see. All right, let's see. All right. Along Highway 99, he was approximately 20 to 30 feet away from us and was repeatedly calling Officer Burke an N-word. So I'm just going to I'm just going to use that because obviously I'm not going to say the whole word. So he was repeatedly calling Officer Burke an N-word. I estimated he had yelled this approximately 10 to 15 times of Officer Burke. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that's a low number. The exact time of racial slurs is 18 different times. Okay.
In 6 minutes. In 6 minutes that we have.
18 times in less than 6 minutes. Okay. So it should be noted that Officer Burke is black. Glenn continued to yell from the sidewalk. He told Officer Burke that he was an orangutan and kept asking him if he wanted a banana or a watermelon. Glenn repeatedly yelled out, "I brought you on a boat from Africa." I would characterize Glenn's conduct at the location as threatening in nature. After approximately 5 minutes of this, and Officer Burke having to steer his attention away from the building he was supposed to be monitoring to deal with Glenn, Sergeant Kelsey directed us to reposition our vehicles to the south side of the building. During this time, it was possible that the unstable building could have been entered, which could have jeopardized the existing fire investigation. After we moved our cars, Glenn stood on the sidewalk for approximately 45 additional minutes, and he continued to scream repeatedly, hurling additional racial slurs at Officer Burke, along with his general taunts, attempting to get a response from us. Glenn repeatedly said, "I cannot wait to post this on YouTube." Glenn was yelling much of this very loudly while there was a hotel across the street where people would be sleeping. Officer Manoz and I remained on scene with Officer Burke until Glenn finally walked away. While the scene security was supposed to be a rotating single officer detail, Glenn's actions tonight, coupled with his prior threats to law enforcement and documented officer safety concerns, caused us to utilize additional resources for over an hour just to protect Officer Burke. I then saw Glenn get into his vehicle, which he had parked just north of the location. The vehicle is described as a 2002 Dodge 1500 van with Washington license plate number redacted. Seconds after leaving the scene, Glenn placed a call to dispatch requesting a supervisor contact him. And he called 911. That's what it was. He placed a call to 911 after doing what he did to request a supervisor. Yeah. Dispatch indicated that Glenn was upset officers were at the scene and they should not be there because they were not investigating anything and that it was private property. Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah. So it is clear to this officer that Glenn's intentions are to try and bait officers into a physical confrontation. There was alarming level of uncertainty regarding all contacts with him, as he is listed as a violent person and a threat to law enforcement. Glenn's presence at police investigations typically requires an officer to monitor his movements and conduct to make sure he doesn't assault an officer or interfere with their investigations. Does somebody have a fan on or something?
Not I.
I do.
Not me.
I think it's Maddie Moe. Maddie Moe is guilty. All right. Let me see. Make sure he doesn't interfere with it. All right. So on this occasion, Glenn was in a location, specifically a burned out building, obviously not open to the public at a time of day at 1:15 hours. There is no reasonable person would believe they had a legal right to be. Glenn's own words to dispatch later was, "This is private property." When confronted by a uniformed law enforcement officer, Glenn initially refused at least 4 commands to leave the fenced area, according to Officer Burke. Instead, he engaged in a verbal and racial abuse specifically directed at an individual officer, Officer Burke, who was black. Glenn continued to direct repeated racial epithets toward Officer Burke for the next 45 minutes, all of which subverted the attention of Officer Burke and 2 other LPD officers, as they were not able to carry out their lawful duty of maintaining watch and control over a crime scene. I believe that on this occasion, Glenn's actions at a minimum rose to the level of probable cause for the charge of obstruction. Yeah, I mean, they he dragged them away. And then the charges regarding the race of verbal abuse should also be considered. And this case is being forwarded to Detective Sergeant Teachworth for further review. That's just the first one. We're going to also hear from Officer Burke directly in his police report. And this is just from the cop that was on scene. He arrived late, was off to the side at first, so he didn't hear the whole thing. We're going to hear the direct report from Burke himself next.
I mean, his narrative is just heartbreaking too. I mean,
it really is.
It's it's not just police narrative. It's almost like a victim statement at the same time.
Correct.
Not only that, but can we talk about the fact that Glenn drives a fucking rape van?
So, Maddie, funny you say that, because I went and got a picture of the exact van Glenn has. And I mean, if Glenn were to have a vehicle, tell me that it wouldn't be this. That is Glenn's vehicle.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Okay, first of all, those things have a fucking TV in them, and I bet you he fucking watches porn. That is a fucking porn van if I have ever. That, you know what? That van screams Jeffrey Epstein.
It's like a version van.
He can put a lot of kids in that van. He can fit a lot of kids in that van.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
a lot of Himalayan whistle children.
Yeah, so that's not Glenn's exact van, but that is the year, that is the make and model of what Glenn drives. I mean, that's just as if he couldn't be any more creepy already. He drives a goddamn van like that, you know? So, yeah, that's his vehicle. So that's what he's driving around these odds. I bet you he's living in it too.
Of course he is. He's like fucking Chris Farley. He lives in that thing down by the river.
Yep. Yep. So that's his vehicle.
You know what? I will give you $100, Mitch, if you fucking fly to Washington and go put a fucking black light in the back of that fucking van. There's more DNA in the back of that fucking van. You kidding me? That whole I bet you that entire van, when he goes around the corner doing 60, it screams with all the fucking knuckle children that are fucking in the back of that thing.
Oh man. Yep. Yeah, Tom Castro, he brags about his car. Yeah, he said he has multiple cars. You know, I have a better car than you, I have a better life than you, you know, house than you, whatever the fuck he was saying in the intro. I mean, no, you don't. Yeah, he said he had a nicer vehicle than that lady he was yelling at and harassing those nurses. Liar. Absolutely, V. Lewis. Absolutely.
All right, anybody want to take a trip? Listen, round trip tickets to Washington are $200. Can we go into like an Airbnb and then go?
We're going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, you let me know.
I'm down.
The more, the merrier.
Yep. All right. So this is the second report. It's heavy. It is heavy. But we're gonna read through it, and hopefully after reading this, you guys get a good idea of what we're dealing with here. And after, we're gonna watch the video, which, by the way, is officially the most we for the first time in Masshole report history. Kate and I had to use the bleep in the censor. We've never had to do that. We've never had to do that. And so it's officially the worst video, I think. I mean, we've played some pretty crazy shit, and I think it's going to be one of the worst videos we've ever played. And we had, like I said, we had to break out the bleep button for the first time in almost a year that we've been doing this. So
it was painstaking. And I just want to say, before we jump into the report, we have 342 fines.
Oh, damn.
And
Nice.
we are going to talk about between the 339 plus the four of us, what we're going to do about this, because we do have a plan, and we're going to mobilize here. We're going to mobilize.
Yeah. Super Jerk, thank you for the road trip. Yeah, appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, so I didn't even realize I was reading. I didn't even see we had that many people. So what's up, everybody? If you haven't hit the like button, hit it now. All right, so let's get into this. All right, why is it blurry? There we go. All right, cool. I got nervous there for a second. All right, so this is Officer Burke. This is his report. So here we go. I am a fully commissioned police officer for the city of Lynnwood, and I am authorized to enforce the laws of state Washington and the city of Lynnwood. On 4/8/2020, I, Officer A.J. Burke, on routine patrol assigned to a detail at a crime scene located at 18100 Highway 99, Lynnwood, Washington, Snohomish County. I was wearing my issued Lynnwood Police Department uniform, sitting in the driver's seat of a fully marked Lynnwood Police Department vehicle in the South Gravel lot. On 4/7/2020, at about 1:58 hours, dispatch reported the abandoned building inside of a fully enclosed yard surrounded by a chain link fence located at 18100 Highway 99, Lynnwood, Washington, was reported to be fully engulfed in flames. Once the fire was combated, Lynnwood units were tasked with maintaining scene security because it was unknown to the fire department and the Lynnwood Police Department personnel if the fire was arson or if there were any victims under the rubble of the burned down building. The building is known to house numerous transient subjects. I took the duty of security for the building at about 0100 at about freaking midnight on 4/8/2020. At about 1:15 hours, I was sitting in my patrol vehicle marked in the south gravel parking lot of the burned down building. I was inside the gated fence. The fence at this time had 2 openings to Highway 99, only to allow access to fire and police vehicles in case the fire flares up again, as it had all day long. From my location in the gravel parking lot, I was able to maintain a visual on the front and rear of the burned down building. While watching the front of the building, I observed a subject walk southbound on Highway 99 from about the 18,000 block of Highway 99. It appeared the subject was carrying a flashlight in his hands. I observed as the subject continued walking southbound on Highway 99 towards the 18,100 block. I then witnessed the subject walk from the sidewalk through the opening in the fence on the north side of the burned down building. It appeared from my vantage point the subject was using his flashlight to look inside the burned down building. I observed the subject walk toward the burned down building and come within 5 feet of going inside. At this time, I was concerned with the subject walking into the crime scene, the burned down building, contaminating evidence and obstructing the investigation. From my vantage point, and based on the time of day, I was unable to see if the subject was male or female, and I still assumed the subject was holding a flashlight. I then advised on the radio I was contacting a subject inside of the fence. As I proceeded toward the subject, I used a spotlight attached to my patrol vehicle to illuminate the subject to give myself a better viewpoint as to what was in his hands. I slowly approached the subject. I could see was a heavy set male, and was holding what appeared to be a phone on a selfie stick device. The light feature on the phone was activated, and that is what I had earlier perceived as a flashlight. As I arrived at the male subject's location inside the gated fence, about 10 feet from the burned down building, I was able to see the subject's face and recognize the male subject to be Glenn R. Cerio, date of birth 10/6/1986. I knew of Glenn from numerous law enforcement safety bulletins personnel are provided for situational awareness. Law enforcement is an inherently dangerous, reactive job, and law enforcement agencies send out bulletins to each other to provide proactive knowledge of certain potentially dangerous individuals. Glenn is known to record LEO on numerous calls and has threatened law enforcement officers in the past. Glenn is known to try and provoke law enforcement officers into physical and verbal altercations. Glenn is currently known to have a personal vendetta against LPD officers. Glenn classifies himself as a YouTube police behavior auditor. I advised dispatch the male subject inside of the fence was Glenn. I then exited my vehicle with my department-issued mag light in my hand. Glenn had moved out of view of the spotlight on my patrol vehicle. I approached Glenn and shined my patrol light on his person. I spoke to Glenn and asked him to leave from the inside of the gated fence to the sidewalk. I told Glenn this scene was part of an ongoing active investigation and he was not allowed near the building. All right. This is it, folks. You ready? All right. Glenn then shined the light from the phone into my eyes, which negatively affected my vision. I also assumed I was being filmed by Glenn via his phone. Glenn stood about 3 to 5 feet away from me and did not move. I believe Glenn then yelled at me, but I did not hear exactly what he said. Because Glenn was not moving, I instructed him again to move from his location to the sidewalk. Glenn continued to yell at me and began to take a few steps away from me, but stopped and shined his light on the camera phone into my face over his shoulder. Glenn was still inside of the gated fence and was about 15 feet from the building. Glenn demanded I give him my name and badge number. I told him I was Officer Burke and he needed to leave the property. Glenn continued to yell at me and took another couple of steps toward the sidewalk. Glenn then stopped and continued to yell at me. I then told Glenn if he did not leave the crime scene, he would be arrested. Glenn finally reached the sidewalk, but continued to shine the light at the light of the camera towards me. I told Glenn if he re-entered the fenced area of the crime scene, he would be arrested for obstructing. I had to tell Glenn 4 times to exit the crime scene onto the sidewalk. Glenn stopped numerous times and challenged my orders. It took about 45 to 60 seconds for Glenn to get on the sidewalk after he was first ordered by me. Glenn then became irate and yelled and screamed at me even louder and with more aggression. Glenn stated something like, "You are a fucking N and I own you. You are a dumb N and are my slave." Glenn continued by stating something like, "My people own your people and you are a fucking slave N. You can't tell me what to do. I'm on the sidewalk, which is a public easement. That's like his favorite thing to say. Public easement. Public easement. Yeah. Glenn then told me something to the effect of oh, I forgot one. Oops. You dumb black blank. Come to the sidewalk and see what happens to you. I'll kick your ass. I perceived the last comment as a threat and fighting words. And based on Glenn's escalating aggressive verbal behavior, I requested a second LPD officer to my scene because I feared being the only officer on scene with a subject who was trying to provoke me into an assault or possible liability of losing my job. I needed another witness to the escalating, threatening, and verbal abuse. I then observed Officer Galloway enter the gated fence and park near me. Throughout this entire abusive verbal onslaught from Glenn towards myself, I was standing inside of the gated fence. Glenn then continued to call me a fucking N and slave and telling me he owns me. Based on this, I called Sergeant Kelsey and advised him of the escalating situation with Glenn. I spoke with Sergeant Kelsey about arresting Glenn on the obstruction charge and also cited Lynnwood Municipal Code Statute 10-4-730 indecent language, practices, and drunkenness, which states any person who uses in the presence of any person in a public place any indecent or vulgar language, or who appears upon any public road or street and in any or upon any public place or conveyance in any indecent, drunken, or maudlin condition or boisterous manner shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. Sergeant Kelsey then stated, based on jail restraints due to the COVID pandemic and previous directives he had received concerning Glenn, he was ordering me to forward the case to the prosecutor for review and not take Glenn into physical custody at this time. Sergeant Kelsey instructed myself and Officer Galloway to drive back into the gravel pit away from Glenn. I was outside of my patrol vehicle while on the phone with Sergeant Kelsey. Throughout the conversation, Glenn continuously used vulgar and racial language towards me. Not once did I hear Glenn insult me as a police officer, and only insulted the color of my skin. I think that's a powerful sentence right there.
Yep.
Yeah. As I drove from this location to the gravel pit, Glenn was still filming me with his phone. I parked over 50 feet from the sidewalk and gated fence. I could still hear Glenn yelling. I rolled up my windows and turned my music up to drown out Glenn's voice and the further provocation from it. Because of this, I was unable to fully fulfill my assigned duty of security for the unstable burned down building because my attention was on Glenn and my subsequent emotions from this onslaught of abusive language towards me. That's crazy. All right. One final page here. Then we'll talk for a few minutes and we'll go to the video. Over the next 30 to 45 minutes. So over the next 30 to 45 minutes, Glenn continued to call me racist names from the sidewalk across the fence line. Officers Munoz and Galloway were closer to the fence and could hear Glenn continuously call me his bitch and that he owned me and I was his slave. Glenn continued to call out the name of Officer Burke and call me racial names and epithets, such as calling me an ape and claiming he had a banana for me to eat, as well as telling me to go eat watermelon. Glenn ultimately left the scene at about 2:25 hours. This means Glenn used threatening and racial language toward me for over an hour. At about 2:28 hours, Glenn called 911 via his cell phone. Glenn stated he wanted to report officers at the scene threatened him, and he has it all on video. Glenn requested a call from the sergeant and felt officers should not be at the location because it's private property. I, Officer Arthur Joseph Burke, am an African-American man. As an African-American man and a police officer, I have been called many racial names by many people. I have never had the visceral response to someone calling me an N as I had when Glenn was yelling the racial term at me. I could feel the hatred from Glenn as he continued to maliciously call me an N and other racial terms. I do not believe Glenn was trying to provoke a response from me as a police officer, but as an African-American man. During this altercation, I had to remove myself from Glenn and sit in my patrol vehicle with the windows up and the music playing to block out the malicious, harassing comments Glenn was making. Being called an N by Glenn countless times hurt me deeply. It is extremely hard to articulate the unpleasant emotion and pain I endured by being called the word N by Glenn. And he goes on to sign it under perjury. A.J. Burke from the Lynnwood, Washington Police Department.
That was just absolutely deplorable.
That's like a victim witness impact statement almost.
And I mean,
That's fucking horrible.
Was deeply affected by this and still is as we're speaking about it right now. This isn't a pro-cop or anti-cop issue. This is a human issue. This is a human being.
That's
and
like
Glenn treated him for no reason. For no reason.
That's almost like I mean, not many people would say it, but I mean, that's almost like a civil rights violation.
Yeah.
Like if you're sitting there and you are like literally just
Yes.
throwing racial slurs at somebody for absolutely
Yeah.
no justification. Racial slurs, there's no justification for a racial slur at all. Let's just throw that out there. But to do that to somebody,
correct,
for no reason, what a dick.
So, Matty, again, it's funny you say that because I think that this is something that we have not proved yet. This is I'm gonna spit out a theory of my own right now. I do have we do have FOIA requests in. We are going to get to the bottom of this, but you did hear how Glenn is accusing Lynnwood PD of calling the FBI and informing the FBI and claiming that they are blaming him for the arson. I have a theory, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that has this theory, but I'll let them speak for themselves. But I have a theory that the FBI was contacted because of these racial slurs, and like you said, a civil rights thing. You can see, and I brought this up right here. Their motivation for the crime is anti-black African American. That's their motivation behind the crime. I mean, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
If that's not why, then we're going to make sure it's why, because this is something that we cannot stand for right now.
Yeah.
Our cities in this country are literally burning to the ground over this shit. And this is a human being that got treated this way for nothing other than doing his job. Officer Burke is a human being.
Correct. And and if I'm wrong about that theory, I'll be the first to tell you. We don't even know if the FBI let me stress yet. We do not know yet if the FBI was even indeed contacted. But like I said, the FOIA requests are in. If they're there, we're gonna get them. If they're not, then they're not. But I have a feeling that because of the way the police reports are written, the way the officer was questioning him. Oh, we called you. That we told them that you committed arson. Like he, playing, basically saying no, we didn't call. It's just there's a lot of fingers pointing at hey, the FBI got called on him because of this situation.
So what we're going to do is we do have the video because Glenn doesn't understand how technology works. So you can videotape something and think that it's never going to see the light of day. But there are people out there that will be motivated enough to make sure that it does see the light of day, Glenn. And we are those people. So I'm not going to get into specifics as to how we got this video, but we got this video. We're going to play it for you guys tonight, but we're going to share it separately on a video that we will release after this live. What I am asking all 323 people now that are here is share that video that we release everywhere. Everyone needs to see this because we need to take some action. He needs to be charged for what he did. He needs to be demonetized by YouTube because yes, we have freedom of speech in this country. Yes, we have the First Amendment, but it does not give you the right to monetize such hateful speech. His behavior on YouTube and off the platform as well are unacceptable, and he should not be making money off of this.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, you will see another video with the police reports. With this video that you're about to see, you will see it again. I know it's a repeat, but we want to get we want to
get it out. We want this. We want Glenn to go viral in the worst possible way. And that's step one to kind of a multi-part plan that we have, that we're asking you guys all for help. We don't ask for help very often, but this is something that is very important. I know to me, it's very important to me. And I'm going to ask too, and we'll put up some links that we start a campaign to give some messages of encouragement and support to Officer Burke through the Lynnwood PD Facebook account, because he's a human being and he needs to know that we care.
Yep, absolutely. So, all right, you guys ready? Who's ready for the video? Yep. Everybody ready for the video? So yeah, let me see. Does anybody have any, before we go into it, anybody have any questions in the comments? Anybody want to hop on and ask any questions about that, or do we want to just get right into the video. I'm sure everybody just wants to get into the video. But what is that again?
We need to get Glenn on this show.
Oh, he
No,
won't come near us with a 10-foot pole.
He's afraid of us, and he should.
Yeah.
He's a fucking pussy.
Stand for this shit. We don't stand for this shit. This is unacceptable.
Hey,
this
Glenn.
is not the way to make your living.
Hey, Glenn, if you're watching this, which you probably are, buddy, you're going down.
Yep.
Yeah. AZ, play the video. All right, let's do it. All right, let me just give me 1 second here. All right, I got to make sure I get the right one censored. Okay, don't want to play the uncensored one. All right, let's watch it. Oh no! Is it not playing? There we go. Is it not playing?
It says it wasn't going to be able to.
It's only audio. Hold on. I'll friggin' talk for a few minutes and re-upload it if I have to. Hold on. Oh yeah, it didn't go through. Yeah. All right, hold on a second. All right, talk amongst yourselves here for a second.
God damn it!
Dude, what a buzzkill. Hold on. What a buzzkill.
No, we'll get it. We'll get it up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna re-upload it if I have to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kate, do you have it too, right? The censored version?
I don't have it downloaded. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
I know.
Oh boy. All right, hold on. Hold on. Let me
We should have done it unlisted. That was silly.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not playing. Okay, hold on. I mean, I have the audio. The video goes. I don't know why it's not playing. Maybe it'll re-upload this time.
All right. Yeah, we're killing people here.
This item was encoded in a format that's not supported. What?
Oh no.
Hold on a second. All right, I'm gonna play the audio right now. We're gonna put that video out anyway. It'll have the video. I mean, the audio is really the important part of this. It must have been whatever you exported it out from Premiere. I don't know. That's weird, but I mean, I have the uncensored version, but I really don't think we should play that on the channel.
Nah, I would say no. Dude, let's not stoop to Glenn's level.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's the audio. Sucks, but. Oh wait, hold on. I just remembered something. All right. No. I didn't think I had it, but I do.
All right, excellent.
Oh, I mean, I gotta upload it, but I have
Kidding me, Mitch? Come on, you keep giving me blue balls here, for Christ's sake.
I know.
Yeah.
Trust
Jesus.
me. I know.
That's all right.
Darn it.
We're gonna
right.
play it. We're getting it, and then
Okay. While I'm doing this, talk about your
my plan.
Yeah, your plan.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna put.
I'll be right back in a minute. So just you take over for a minute.
All right, bitch, I got it. This is the pressure. So what I've done is I have compiled a list of addresses, email addresses, and the likes that we can all contact, because I think it's important that this goes to the right places. So the Lynnwood PD does have this video. That's important, and it's going to be going to the prosecutor, I would assume. We're also encouraging people to contact the area NAACP. I do have the address, both the email address and the physical address. We'll drop that in the description of this video, as well as we're going to put out on our website an entire blog post with some sample letters that you can send out to people, the addresses and all that good stuff. So we're also encouraging people to tweet at YouTube and ask them if Black Lives Matter, why this man is allowed to make money on YouTube, because I want to see him demonetized. I think that's extremely important right now, because obviously money is the motivator to this kind of behavior, and we need to cut that off at the source. I'm not trying to deplatform Glenn. He can spew all the bullshit that he wants on YouTube, as long as YouTube determines that he's following their, terms of service, fine. We're not going to control other people's speech, but he doesn't have the right to go ahead and monetize that hateful speech. We're also, again, encouraging that people, and I will put the link to Lynnwood PD's Facebook account in the comments, just shoot a message for Officer Burke. He really went through it, and that's unacceptable. I mean, he's a human being. From anything that we saw in the video, the reports that both corroborate each other, he behaved appropriately and professionally, and really, I mean, so patiently, I can't even fathom it. And he deserves the recognition for that. And he deserves to be told that he's a human being, because he is a human being.
You're not only that, but I think when we get on to Twitter, I think somebody should at Mr. Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, I mean,
when it comes to stuff like this,
we're going to put this out as a video, just a standalone, the video that we have of Glenn behaving this way. And I think it needs to go everywhere, on every social media that you can. It needs to get out there. People need to see this. People need to be as upset as we are. And I'm sure that they will be once they see it, because it's completely unacceptable. And this isn't just about Glenn's behavior. This is anybody who behaves this way. Like, we cannot accept it. It's not okay. You don't treat other human beings like that. You just don't.
Nope. I would agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, obviously, if you want to tweet the video at, some people with much more reach than we do that we think can get it done, that would be great. Yeah. That would be great. It looks like Mitch is still working on it over there.
Yeah, you could at Sean King too.
Yeah, no, you guys have some good, and honestly, like, it's not a political thing at this point. This is just like a human issue to me. So I don't really care, conservative, liberal, someone in the middle. I don't care what their ideologies are. I think just about anyone with a pulse and a conscience can agree that this is totally unacceptable behavior, regardless of, your affiliation politically, because it is. And this is something that I think we all can agree on is just completely, totally unacceptable.
Yeah. It's inhumane is what it is. Like,
right. And,
Yep.
It was completely unprovoked. There was absolutely no reason. Not that there's much of a reason anyway. If you have to go to somebody's race like that, you're just a lazy insulter. You're just a lazy, terrible, unimaginative insulter, right? Because you're going after the lowest of the low-hanging fruit, really. Right to something that will cause a visceral reaction with no merit. But, beyond that, it's just a completely unacceptable way to act. It just really is.
Yeah. Unreal.
I can't wait for the cocksucker to get fucking arrested for real.
Yeah, no, he needs to go away for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Mitch is still having trouble there. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just going to be audio for now, I think. Okay. But, I mean, that's the basis of it anyway. So, but don't worry, yeah.
We're going to have to do right after we finish here anyway.
Yeah, that way, at least the second video won't be a total repeat. All right, so here's the audio right now. Officer Burke is approaching him right now, and this is the conversation that ensues. So just sit back and we'll listen and we'll talk about it after. You can hear his fat footsteps.
Mitch, make sure that it's a censored one.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be putting the video on the channel.
Here.
Move back.
Keep moving.
I'm moving.
Are you? I just told you to get out of here. Yeah, keep moving.
Don't touch.
Sorry, I was muted. All right, so this is it.
What's that?
This is an active crime scene in the fence. You need to
Oh,
get
yeah?
out. Yeah, keep moving.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
You want to go to jail?
Get your light out of my
I
face.
just told you to get out of here. It's
I'm
an active
moving
crime
back.
scene.
Get out of my face.
Move out of here.
Move back.
Keep moving.
I'm moving.
Are you serious right now?
I'm serious.
I told you this is an active crime scene. You need to get out of here.
I'm moving.
Okay.
See me
Turn
moving?
around and walk away.
I'm moving.
Keep moving.
I'm gonna
Keep
call.
moving.
I'm calling the police.
I am the police.
No, you're not.
Keep moving.
You're a dog. You're gonna go to
Let's
jail.
go.
You're
Get
gonna go
out
to jail.
of the fence.
What's your name, badge number?
My badge number is get out the fence.
Fuck
Like
your
I
mom.
told you, keep
Fuck
going.
your mom, dude.
Keep moving.
Fuck your mom.
Get out of here.
Fuck your mom.
Thank you.
What's your
Get on
name?
the sidewalk.
What's your name, badge number?
Keep moving.
Come out here.
Keep moving.
Come out here, bitch. I'm on public easement. Fuck you. Fuck you. Hey, fuck you, you fucking. Fuck you, fucking nigger. Fuck you, fucking nigger.
Excuse me?
I just called you a fucking nigger. What are you gonna do about it? I just called you,
You guys
a
hear
fucking nigger.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear it.
You're on film. You fucking dumbass nigger.
Keep moving.
Fuck you, nigger.
Keep moving.
Fuck you, nigger. Public easement. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Keep moving.
Public easement, bitch.
Keep moving.
Public easement. Fuck you. Public easement, bitch. Fuck you, nigger. You are my nigger. You work for me. You are my slave. You work for me.
All right, so at this point, Burke and the other officer just pulled up to the scene, and they're talking.
Listen, buddy, you're gonna arrest someone. Come over here and fucking try to arrest someone. You'll be put down, dude. Fuck you. Don't lie. You're on camera, bitch. You are on camera, bitch. You are on camera and you're gonna be exposed. Shut the fuck up. Think you're fucking big and bad? You ain't big and bad on the street. Trust me, buddy. Yeah, be a quiet little spook. You are my spook. You work for me. I pay your salary. Listen to me, spook. I brought you from Africa, you motherfucker. I brought you from Africa, motherfucker. You are my bitch. Fucking piece of shit. Public fucking easement. Go suck a dick, bitch. Suck a fucking dick, bitch. You work for me. Shut the fuck up. You fucking dumb nigga. Fuck you, nigga. You are on film. You're gonna be exposed to the world.
All right, I just want to make it clear too for the YouTube algorithm robots that we do not support this. We are merely providing the public knowledge.
It's so
We are
uncomfortable.
providing public knowledge to this subject on this person, and for news and educational purposes. That's for the algorithm robots. But yeah, no, we can't. All right, so I saw a few people saying to show the uncensored. We can't do that. We can't have hate speech on our channel. The robots do not care of the context of it. They just hear it and that's what they do.
Right.
We can't play that. We can't play the uncensored version. Unfortunately, I'm so mad that the video, for whatever reason, the program that we use to have our files go so that we can all share them and all see them together. For whatever reason, they all got dumped from between, because even the videos that I showed you guys in the beginning of this show are gone. So I don't know what the hell happened, but we'll get it put up. We'll get the video put up. We do have the video. You guys heard the audio. I highly suggest watching it again to get the full effect when we do it. But yeah, I mean, that's it right there. That's our big shot at him. I mean, it's just horrible. You know, anyone that can say those type of things to person, you can tell from the report, it really affected that officer as well. You know, it wasn't just it was more than just words for him. And it's unfortunate. And Glenn is a huge piece of shit.
Hey, he should have been fucking stomped right there.
No. Oh, I know. Protagonist, no, this is not on his channel. This is not on his channel.
Yeah, he never
There would be
a
chance that this is ever gonna fucking be on his channel.
No, he never released this. He never would release this because it makes him look like a piece of shit. Yeah, I mean, Red Texas Ice. That basically was. Yeah, we took out as little of the word as we could without it saying the whole word. Because we didn't want to bleep out the whole word because we wanted to still bleep it, but we wanted to be able to still prove that he was in fact saying that word every time. It was two words. He was saying, you know, the N word and then the SPO, you know, that word too. And it's insane, you know, someone to repeatedly say that like that. And you know, after listening to the audio, I'm sure some people, I really think that's why the FBI is looking into this, but you know, I could be wrong about that, but we're going to find out.
I hope the cocksucker gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
I usually don't violence, but I mean, he deserves something. It's just absolutely disgusting. And for him to try to assert superiority over anyone is fucking laughable, especially someone who is gainfully employed, because Glenn is not. Glenn is useless. He's the most useless human being on this planet.
He's like fucking crust on a sandwich. That's how fucking useless that fucking piece of shit is.
Yeah.
Oh, because some people like the crust. Nobody likes Glenn.
Well, I mean, has to have some people who fucking like him who monetize his ass. So that's why I'm saying
we got
he's like
somebody,
fucking crust.
I don't know who this is, but Avalon, what's up?
Hey.
How are you? What's going on?
Doing well. I saw your preview video for tonight's stream, and I thought maybe you were making a whole big deal out of one guy for nothing. But then I hear this, and I'm like, yeah, he deserves that much attention.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's unlike anything we've heard from auditor. I mean, we've heard some auditors do some pretty crazy shit, and that takes the cake for sure.
I thought Chauncey was bad.
Yeah. I know. I mean, that's pretty hateful, you know. I saw somebody else. I'd submit that to the police, the FBI, and the local DA. Cat Slave, all three already have it. So they all have it. All right, I'm trying VLC. Pat's saying the same. VLC will take. I'm downloading it now. I don't know. It's weird. Like it got rid of the video file, but kept the audio files, even the ones I already played. But I don't know. I'll try it. But if it works, it works. If not, well, I mean, I just got to re-download it from the editing software. We'll definitely get it so you guys can see it. But it's not like it's gone.
We're gonna play it no matter what. I mean, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna upload it. And I mean, I agree with Joe M here. Make this go viral. He wants to go viral. Let's make him fucking go viral.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me see. Open with.
Someone asked if I was Patrick. No, I'm not Patrick.
Oh man.
You know, I wonder if Glenn's very active with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's where kids get to meet him, so dying doesn't seem so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. The video's gone. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, all right. So I mean, we got the audio tonight. We'll have the video up for you guys too. I mean,
must be shitting his pants if he's fucking watching this right now.
Yeah. So the whole time too, like the video was just kind of pointing at the ground, like he was, Glenn was freaking out. It's from a distance because he does push him back out of the private property back onto the sidewalk. So I would say there's probably about, I don't know, like 10 to 20 feet between the two of them as he's yelling this stuff. So the video is, it's good because you get the video too, but the audio is really where it's at. So you guys heard the best of it tonight, but we'll put the video out too. And
how long is the video?
Yeah,
it's about 6 minutes.
And he was doing it for 2 hours.
Over an hour, yeah.
Yeah, apparently he was there for an hour and 45.
Wow.
And that was only 6 minutes of it. So who knows what he did when he after he turned his camera off?
Yeah.
Like that was while he was recording. So like who knows what this guy said after the fact. But and I thought it was important to read the police report first and then show the audio or the video. And
it's his view, not is it the body cam?
No, it's from Glenn's point of view. It's Glenn's video, and him taking that video right now is now coming back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, I wonder if you can get the body cam, if there is one.
I'm not sure if there was. That's a good question.
Unfortunately, they don't have body cams.
Yeah, I didn't think they did. Lynnwood doesn't have them, I don't believe. What's his real name? Anyone know? Joe, who are you talking about?
It's Glenn Cerio.
Yeah, are you talking about on the USA?
Mhm.
On the USA is Glenn Cerio.
Cerio.
Cerio. Yep.
That's Spanish for cunt, by the way.
Pat, that is highly classified.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to end up in jail.
Dash clam. Yeah, I mean, anybody got any questions? Needs to send the video to Ricardo Luna. I don't know what that guy's deal is, man. Like he's been claiming all types of stuff, but you ask him about it and he doesn't answer. So I don't know. I don't know what that guy's deal is.
People hate my sexy avatar.
Guys, all we can say about how we get things like Glenn's video or whatever, if we have our ways, if we latch into an issue, then we see it all the way through. Some people have maybe accused us of being kind of myopic or obsessive. Maybe that's the case. But if we're looking at a situation, we're going to see it all the way through like a dog with a bone. And so, sometimes you do what you have to do to get as much corroborating evidence as possible. And in Glenn's case, we did what we had to do.
Yeah, I think it's important to know too that I've had this, we got this video over a month ago. We've been sitting on this video for over a month, waiting for the police reports to come in so we could have all the evidence, everything together into one little package and send it out. Like, we look into everything we do and we do the homework on it, and that's what we do. We won't put something out there if we don't know everything behind it. If it's hearsay, we had the video and we were like shocked, like, oh my God, this is crazy. But we wanted to get both sides. Like, we had that one video. We wanted to see what the officer said about it that night, put it all together. So.
Oh yeah, he needs commendation for his patience.
Yeah. Let's see. Limpy is God. Theory. Y'all fake to be the FBI and got Glenn to send you the video and then are exposing him. The FBI may involve now, but just a thought. Yeah. Yeah. No, unfortunately, it literally landed in our laps. So, yeah. There was nothing. No, Pat is 100% with it. Yeah. Yeah, Pat's good shit. Let's see. So, Kate, what's been going on with that Canadian dude and you? Is she still there?
No, she muted her mic.
I thought you were outside ripping a Newport.
A fucking whack job.
No. So yeah, the Canadian. He actually can we play the response video? Can we pull that up on his camera? Rubber Boot Gang.
Rubber Boot Gang. There we go. I was thinking of a different guy a different auditor who is also Canadian.
Yeah, no, he responded to my last video on him, and I was quite flattered. I can pull it up if you can, Mitch.
Kate, you're a goof.
It's loading now.
All right, yay!
Damn goofs.
I was quite excited about it. Yeah, he called us a bunch of goofy, slandering goofs.
Goofs.
Is that it?
Is what it?
He called you a bunch of goofs. Is that it?
Well,
that's what he.
That's it.
I mean, the video goes on for. I think he kind of drives him.
Social media getting hacked, and this cartel was fucking using.
Hold on. I want to start it over.
And they were fucking report. Dude is such a fucking goof. He's fucking posting saying that I'm fucking. Apparently a fucking diddler. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Dude,
oh, your beard looks like you're a diddler.
My fucking face, you fucking
got the van.
Look at what's in this.
Does have the van.
Sucker. It's full of fucking tools. Because I work every day. I'm like you fucking just
including the one in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I don't even just gonna say that.
Loser. And you go on slandering people on on YouTube with fake fucking evidence. Like, dude, I was sitting in that fucking Tim Hortons, all right? And I was literally talking to a 28-year-old girl, okay, with 2 fucking kids, okay? Not trying to target no fucking 15-year-old girl working at fucking Tim Hortons. Like, you guys are just fucking stupid as fuck. So I was sitting there for 45 minutes on my phone just using the Wi-Fi because my data was up. Because in Canada, we don't have unlimited Wi-Fi. Okay, or unlimited data. All right. What happened was years ago, about 2 years ago, I used to have data on my phone. All right, and I had problems with my fucking social media getting hacked, and this cartel was fucking using my social media, and they were fucking going, and they were using my Snapchat location. It didn't matter if I turned it off. Because they would fucking have my password, and then if I fucking changed my password,
did you just call you a cartel?
Would be back on, and they could fucking track me.
No, he said that a cartel was using his stuff.
I went with pay as you go, okay, and I got rid of the data, so you can make fun of me all you want. Yeah, I live in a fucking multi-million-dollar house. I don't need to fucking be criticized.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Fucking fucked. If you believe this, fucking shit, man. He is absolutely slandering the fucking shit out of me. What happened that day is I was sitting there, literally talking to a girl about going to a drive-in with her a movie because everything else is closed because of fucking COVID. And banging a 28-year-old. Oh. I got the fucking messages. And you know what? I'll fucking post them and black out her name because you guys are fucking goofs. If you fucking believe that I'm a fucking diddler. If you fucking even look at my Facebook,
did he steal Glenn's van?
Yeah,
he might have.
I was thinking about that. He's driving Glenn's van.
Yeah, it must be a requirement.
Get a 2-for-1 special.
By the cops with this too with my online dating. And what happened was, I had a girl message me. I'm
not gonna lie. Like this whole time, he was just yapping away. My focus, I completely lost. You know, wasn't even listening. My focus was on that blue Home Depot bin in the back of his van. I mean, blue Home Depot, is Home Depot blue in Canada? Like that's what I'm thinking.
Go back a second in the video and listen to what he says again. We kind of drowned it out with the side chatter, but he's going on about how he's not a diddler, and then listen to what he says right here because it's ridiculous.
Then he says about the cartel or something.
No, where am I going? About his online dating profile.
All right, hold on. I'll go back like 20 seconds. All right, everybody quiet. Everybody quiet.
If you fucking even look at my Facebook, there is probably over 100 fucking posts about me saying that I'd slit a dealer's throat or fucking stomp their fucking head in. And I've been audited by the cops with this too with my online dating. And what happened was, I had a girl message me. I was like 22 maybe at the time. I'm 25 now, going on 26. But it said 19, right? So, and she looked good looking. So I fucking accepted it, but it was a cop, okay? Then I start talking to her. She gets like 3 3 messages in, and then she says that, or no, more than that. It was more than that. It was probably like 15 messages in, and she says that she's 15 years old. And I tell her, not even knowing it's a fucking cop, that if I knew that someone was my age was messaging my little fucking sisters, because 15 was the same age as my twin sisters, all right? And if that happened to them, I'd be showing up at that motherfucker's house and fucking killing him. Straight up. Bring the fuck out of a fucking diddler. I don't care if you want to go post a video about me.
Just for context,
because
I believe someone correct.
Hold on, pause it.
Hold on.
Garbage. You got like fucking 5.5 minutes.
Hold on. All right. Wait, go ahead.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the legal age of consent in Canada is 16.
But listen, he goes on about how he is not a diddler, and then proceeds to tell us that he was audited by the police for this behavior once because of online. How would he know that it was a cop?
Yeah,
unless he was doing
that
something
it's
wrong.
a cop, it's already too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's ratting on himself.
And it's not like a cop sits there and just decides to send you a message just out of the fucking blue. Like, you've had to do some creepy fucking level 3 type shit in order to have come up on their fucking radar. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I must confess, have we moved on?
No, we'll go back. We'll go back.
All right, because I'm confused, because in between me clicking the StreamYard link and coming here, we've moved from Glenn onto some other. Who is this? I think I recognise his face.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. This is kind of this is Kate's little new class pet right here.
This is Glenn's Canadian cousin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but Shiva, you got some comments on Glenn?
I first of all, I wouldn't mind a copy of that audio if you don't mind at some point.
Yeah, well, we're gonna put the video out tomorrow. With the video and the audio, so you get the full effect. So you're more than welcome. Yeah, well, no, that's what I meant. Yeah, well, when this is over, we'll get it out. Yeah.
I think when I first kind of came across auditors, which was like a couple of months ago, right? And I saw all these guys kind of going out and swearing and whatnot, and this question like arose in my mind, which is like, wouldn't it be better if they had a code of practice that they adopted, right? Not that's imposed on them. And they're all like, no, there's no need for that. And then you hear kind of stuff like that. In like, especially in the context of what's kicking off now all over the world, right? It's not just in the States anymore. There's protests all over the world, and again, like, I just kind of think, if you're an auditor, wouldn't you want to distance yourself from individuals who are behaving like Glenn is in that audio clip? Like, because I'd want to, if I was an auditor, I'd want to be going, that's got fuck all to do with me. I don't like that. I don't condone it. I don't know. The whole thing. I get what they're saying. Well, it's freedom of expression, right? So as long as they're not threatening the copper or whatever, then I suppose, strictly speaking, it's legal. You know, that doesn't make it any less shitty.
Yeah, absolutely not. And like Ashley just said too, don't forget to think of Officer Burke. And not just Glenn here. Like, I mean, that dude, I don't know. I just think it's horrible to do that to somebody. I just couldn't. I can't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that type of person or something, but that's just horrible,
That's right. And it's funny, isn't it? Because, there's stuff like the George Floyd killing. That makes, because when that happened, I was kind of thinking, do you know what? Actually, if Josh Abrams had been there, that guy might not be dead, right? Because even though Josh Abrams is an asshole, is not afraid to get involved, right? And I've seen him, like, there's been a Josh Abrams audit involving a homeless person where, I've got to stand up and say, hands up to him, like, he did the right thing in that instance. But then you hear stuff like, what we just heard.
I mean, and what did he think? Like, did he think that like the police were not going to make a report on that, or that it wasn't going to eventually come back to him someday? I don't get his thought behind all that.
My question is, and this is not to be a defense of Glenn, but is he just doing it to be uber ultra provocative, and he's not really racist? He's just trying to set him off.
I mean, if he is, that's pretty stupid, because anybody in their right mind is gonna. Right. That's a whole nother level. Like, that's not just trying to provoke. Like, that's a race. Like, if I'm trying to provoke someone, like, I can't. I'm I'll try and provoke them, but I'm not going to say stuff like that. Like, that's just a whole nother level. I don't know. I think
like trying to provoke somebody would be talking about your wife or your kids or your mom or some shit like that. Like, that was a legit personal attack on his race and the color of his skin and his that's not provoking. That's just being a complete fucking cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was actually enjoying being able to say that. You could tell.
Why does everyone think that I sound like Patrick?
I don't know.
What, from SpongeBob?
No. Hey, pal, Patty.
Patrick Ross.
I'm just kidding.
Limpy, what's up? Limpy, you are on the air.
Sorry, I can't resist. I can never resist. Up as a relative concept, it has no intrinsic value.
All right. He is not it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can never resist answering that question, even though it wasn't directed at me.
Yeah, I mean, Pat says Glenn is an intelligent of an 8-year-old. It's very conceivable that he was trying to be,
uber provocative.
Yeah, I mean, hate crime. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has the potential to be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's a hate crime?
Go ahead, Kate.
Sorry.
His intentions are outweighed by the victim's feeling in response to it in this case. Because, I mean, intentions aside, the words still come out and have the same impact, regardless of whether or not he's actually, a white-hooded KKK member or just wants to be an asshole for clicks and views. Like, the impact is the same regardless.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard a cop report I don't think I've heard a cop report that sounded like that. You said it yourself. It sounded more like a victim statement.
Yeah. Mr. S says Glenn had those comments ready in his pocket to use. There's no hesitation, and the comments fell out of his face too easy. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, he was spilling that N-word more than Muhammad Ali would spill birdseed at a bird feeder. Come on.
Yeah. Tim Barry, he's a racist. End of story. Somebody else said, where is it? Yeah, TGL dog. He's used the N-word in many other videos. Yes, he has used. I've seen a video. I've never seen a video of him using it, but I have seen a video of a black cop claiming that he did as he drove by. I didn't see it. He didn't say it in that video. But yeah, this is far from the very first racial situation that Glenn has been involved in.
Somebody who is a former cop just said that he wants to join the panel and asked if he could join the panel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike Smith. Yeah, Mike Smith. So
I'll be
All right.
I'll switch spots with him because I'm going to go for.
All right.
Nice
Thank you.
Talk to you guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Avalon. Appreciate it. All right, take care. Yeah. I'm gonna give Limpy one more try. Limpy. Oh. Nope. All right. Yeah. Matt Capola. He called an Asian motel. Yes, he did. He was. There was a COVID situation. Someone was getting taken out of the motel for having COVID, and he's sitting there calling the owner racial slurs because the owner's asking him to get off his property, and saying he's on the public easement and all that. Yeah, I've seen that video. Like I said, this is far from the first time that he's ever said racial things.
So do you think he's using auditing as an excuse to allow him to behave in the way that he wants and avoid censure for it.
He uses auditing for an excuse for everything that he does.
Yeah. Mike Smith, how are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Good. I think you've been on before, correct?
I have.
Okay, yeah. Good to see you again.
Good seeing you as well.
So what's going on? What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, when you think that piss Willie couldn't get any worse, he gets worse. But you know what frightens me on this is they're talking about an obstruction charge on him. Well, that's local. That's the misdemeanor. If the feds don't get involved, he's going to get by with it.
Yeah.
Why would it be a federal crime?
Because that's a legit hate crime, Mr. Smith, if I'm not mistaken, with the amount of times he's used those racial slurs towards a man of color.
Oh, absolutely. And once again, even though I was on for 36 years, I've been retired for 15. So a lot of things have changed, but I would certainly think that would qualify as a hate crime.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you were on 15 plus years ago, would they consider that at that point in time to be a hate crime? Because if they did 15 years ago, you bet your ass they do now.
Well, you got to remember now, back then there was no such thing as a hate crime. That would have got him knocked on his ass, thumped upside the head. But unfortunately, there wasn't a hate crime as we know it nowadays.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for the Americans.
Go ahead. Tread lightly, Frenchie.
How do you square the concept of hate crimes with freedom of expression as outlined in the First Amendment?
See, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. As far as the way that the First Amendment is written and the way that it reads. Because, I mean, anybody can basically say what they want, and they're covered underneath the First Amendment. If I'm not speaking out of context, Mr. Smith, I mean, you know the laws better than probably anybody in this panel, so, I mean, jump in any time that you want. But
well, once again, it varies so much according to interpretation for a particular what would be regarded as a no-no in Indiana would not necessarily be the case. For instance, I watched a little Puerto Rican gentleman. What's his name? That's got Mike down in Florida. Anselmo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, today, both of them were jumping on a policeman. I mean, for a good half an hour about his wife screwing around, about wanting to find out where and yet, that would have. They had to have the patience of Job. I don't see how they tolerated that. You got to have certain limits. Better be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
Yeah. Yeah. All these little frauditing abortions need to I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I have heard the argument put forward that that criminal speech is already covered by US law, and that, like, calling someone a name shouldn't be a crime.
And it pretty much isn't. It's not prosecuted. I think that the exception would be, once again, what they refer to as hate crimes because of religion, sex, color, and so on. However, I think they still fall back on what they call fighting words. And that interpretation, once again, will vary from place to place. Now, when you start talking about my wife, that, to me, you've done qualified, but not every place looks at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm reading something on hate speech right now, and it says, due to the robust right to free speech found in the American Constitution, the United States Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that hate speech is legally protected free speech under the First Amendment. The most recent Supreme Court case on this issue was in 2017 when the justices unanimously reaffirmed that there is effectively no hate speech exception to the free speech rights protected by the First Amendment. So basically, he can say whatever he wants and he can get away with it. Doesn't mean he doesn't need to be fucking kicked in his pussy. But
yeah, well, see, I'd agree, but that's why the cop didn't arrest him, right?
Well, he can't.
In the UK, he'd have been nicked probably. Like, you know, he'd have been arrested. Sorry, we call it being nicked in the UK. It's kind of slang for getting arrested. So yeah, like I think. I mean, I kind of understand it's protected speech, so he does have the right to use those slurs. But yeah, that whole area of hate speech is something that's kind of interesting to me on a personal level.
Right, but that's the whole thing. It's like it's you know, how far does your moral compass guide you before you start doing that at that point in time when it becomes morally and ethically wrong? I mean, granted, yeah, it's free speech, whatever. Like, fuck off. But
well, I mean, I think that's a separate question, right? Just because it's legally protected, it's a legally protected activity, doesn't make it a moral activity.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got the video.
Oh, it is working now?
Yeah, I downloaded QuickTime. Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know why. It was so weird.
Yeah, we might as well just share it later.
I
listen
kind
to
of
the audio.
Well, I'll take a vote. Hit 1 if you want to watch the video. If people want to see it, I'll play it. If not, we'll drop it later.
I'd drop it later.
Let me see what people say.
So then that really does go back to the fact that if the FBI was contacted, it probably has to do with the fire. And this could potentially be.
I don't know. Why would a fire? Why would that be getting investigated? Why would an arson be investigated by the
FBI?
It would be state.
I can tell you why, because think back to how many other reports we've read, because I can think of at least one off the top of my head, where Glenn was around a quote-unquote crime scene of some sort, right? Where he was the only one around, and it involved some sort of incendiary device or threat of an incendiary device or something that looks like an incendiary device. They may be looking at it that he's building a pattern here, which I bet that he is. And I honestly, he even said himself, no, they didn't directly accuse me of that fire. I think he dry snitched on himself. It would not surprise me if Glenn is going around setting fires and placing fake bombs or maybe even real bombs down the line, because that way he knows the cops are going to show up.
Yeah, and I've also seen reports of him. He does things, and then he's one of those people that likes to do things and then sit back and watch it all unfold.
Watch it burn.
So can I just arson isn't a federal crime in the States. It's not.
Yes, it is. No, arson's not a federal crime unless you burn down a federal building.
Oh, right. Okay.
Or a church or something protected.
Yeah, the FBI and the arson thing, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me still. But I understand what Kate's saying. And I do agree with what she's saying. There is a pattern of that. I don't know if that makes it federal or what. But, I mean, that's definitely for sure. Like I've even seen reports of him like breaking toilets and stuff just to see what happens, and so that the janitor has to go fix it. Like, and he gets to watch the guy fix it, and it's like it's weird shit like that.
Yep. This is total speculation, but in one of his videos, the one he left before going to Miami, he's sitting at the airport, and there's a cop in front of him going through a suitcase like it was left unattended. But yet, when Glenn gets to Florida, he has no clothes whatsoever. He could have very well left his suitcase unattended just to tape the response from the local PD to see what happens. That would fall under the FBI privy at that point.
100%. And God knows at some point how he's going to escalate with this. God knows.
Oh, exactly. That's one of the reasons I want to come on. After he got OC'd, which is still just a fucking sweet pleasure, a couple of us contacted Bellevue with the video, and also his little comment that he posted on his community page. Bellevue PD was very grateful. The Sergeant of Internal Affairs responded with a very long email thanking for all the responses. They're fully aware of it. Personally, I think he's going to have more charges in obstruction and curfew. I think he'll also have charges of threats against a public official as well, because you can't make threats against an officer that I'm going to kick your ass like you'll never remember, you're going to wish you weren't born, shit like that. That is a crime.
Well, To me, it seems like that the sergeant involved who told him to hold off on the arrest, I think he kind of dropped the ball. I can understand why they don't want to fill up the jails now, but you got to stand behind your people sometimes. You know, that didn't get him arrested on the spot. I just don't understand that.
You have to understand Washington State first off. I mean, it's kind of a tree hugging state.
True. Yeah. Home of Antifa.
Yeah. But he's got that one obstruction charge from this agency. He's now got a second obstruction charge from Bellevue, as well as curfew. And then the threats. Like I said, I'm just speculating, but I'm guessing they're going to add more charges onto him as well.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely still a very open investigation. Yeah. All right. I mean, I figured if you want me to talk a couple more minutes, we can play it and then end the stream like that. Just play it again for everybody, and then we'll end it. And then we're gonna make a video.
We'll share it.
Yeah.
Because I got this blog post ready to go. I'm just waiting to embed the video and hit publish. So.
All right, cool.
In Fort Worth, Michigan, Kate, you guys did an awesome job. Thank you very much.
Oh no, thank you. We always appreciate everyone's input on this because it's a team effort here.
So you're gonna put a blog out?
I have a blog post with all the contact information for everyone that I personally am planning to contact. How to do it, through Twitter and social media and email and snail mail if you have to, so that we can go ahead and give some encouragement to Officer Burke, but also on the levels that Glenn can be held accountable for this behavior, that ensure that he will be.
Yeah. All right. So I think so you do that, and then I'll make a video with the video and a link to your blog, and I'll say in the video, to. Well,
I was gonna embed the video on the blog. So.
But the YouTube world wants to see it, man.
No, that's what I'm saying is publish it to YouTube. I'll embed it onto YouTube, right? And then we can put the link in the description. They'll just link each other. This is technical shop top or top.
That's what I'm saying. Right? That's what I'm saying. All right, Tom Castro.
We're on the same page.
Thank you. I already donated once tonight, but this deserves more, Tom. I appreciate it. Where is Glenn from? Glenn is from Washington State. Sound guy Juan, is he here? Whoa, it just got really quiet. Maddie Mo.
There's no sound. Yeah, then sound guy must be here. No, just kidding.
Oh man. Jimmy, I saw earlier that you asked if I yelled at Kate for going to the riot. Yeah, Kate's crazy. I mean, she got right up there in the front line. I did tell her, I was like, Kate, I really don't think you should. She's like, no, I'm going. All right. So, but she did.
Yeah, while I was driving, Mitch and Sound Guy, we were like chatting back and forth, and both Mitch and Sound Guy were like, don't do it, you're an idiot. And I'm like, I'm 10 minutes away.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like the older brother, like no, don't do it. Stay safe. It's too dangerous. Please don't go. And then, next thing I know, it's like Masshole Report is live, and you're literally standing there, and there's just the orange barriers like right in front of you, and I'm just like, oh my god, like what?
Hell yeah.
Like if you're gonna do it, go big, like go big or go home, I guess. Super Jerk, thank you. $4.99 to the road trip fund. Kate, it's looking.
I'm not even kidding.
Like
I'm going.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna find Glenn and meet him face to face. I got words for that man.
Yeah.
I hope somebody tapes his arrest.
Yeah. Yeah, and then AZ, I thought Kate got arrested. Yeah, and then you're live, and then all of a sudden it's just boom, gone, like nothing. I'm texting her, AZ's texting her, like Sound Guy's texting her, like Katie, you all right? You're right, just nothing. And then finally she just comes back. Yeah, my battery died. Like, all right.
I was walking. I had to walk the long way back to my car through the projects. I'm just, sauntering around. There's chaos and explosions and fireworks and shit everywhere. I'm talking to people. It was no big deal.
Yeah, you're like yelling at them and stuff. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, hey, listen. Good night from Indiana. Don't forget, we've got Josh in Indiana now.
Yeah, he's back there, isn't he?
Oh, poor you, poor you.
Pays him.
Well, and also our friend from Great Britain, we're sorry about that tea thing in Boston. I hope you're over it.
I missed that one.
Come on.
the Boston Tea Party. Come on.
Oh. Sorry, I was reading something. Bucket Boy just went away.
Yeah.
It
Sorry
was a
about your
pleasure
tea.
meeting you, Mike. It was a pleasure meeting you.
You as well. You all take care now.
All right, take care. All right, we'll play the video. People are going nuts.
I'll take this opportunity to bow out as well if it's the end of
All
the show.
right.
I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks
That's
for having
all
me
right.
on.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
All right, we're going to play this and then kill the stream so we can go get a video up. Again, I'm encouraging everybody who is here, listening to the replay, was here before, share the shit out of the video when we go ahead and post it to our YouTube channel because everybody needs to see this.
Absolutely. And shout out again to Officer Burke, everyone at the Lynnwood PD, Bellevue PD, Seattle PD, all those people. We are here and we will get this motherfucker. All right, let's play it. Now where'd my screen go? There we go.
Damn it, bitch.
Hey, we got video. All right, let me get rid of this comment. Hold on. All right, there's no audio at first, so don't everyone go freaking out, all right? The audio kicks in once the video starts. I guess this is kind of important too, because you see that the narrative in the police report lines up. He shines a spotlight at him, sees him, comes at him, and then the interaction starts here.
Hey man, this is the crime scene.
What's that?
This is an active crime scene in the fence. You need to
Oh,
get
yeah?
out. Yeah, see moving.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
You want to go to jail?
Get your light out of my
I
face.
just told you to get out of here. It's an
I'm
active
moving
crime
back.
scene.
Get out of my face.
Move out of here.
Move back.
Keep moving.
I'm moving.
Are you serious right now?
I'm serious.
I told you this is an active crime scene. You need to get out of here.
I'm moving.
Okay.
See me
Turn
moving?
around and walk away.
I'm moving.
Keep moving.
I'm gonna
Keep
call
moving.
I'm calling the police.
I am the police.
No, you're not.
Keep moving.
You're a dog. You're gonna go to
Let's
jail.
go.
You're
Get
gonna
out
go to jail.
of the fence.
What's your name, badge number?
My badge number is get out the fence.
Fuck your mom. Fuck your mom, dude.
Keep moving.
Fuck your mom.
Get out of here.
Fuck your mom.
Thank you.
What's your
Get on
name?
the sidewalk.
What's your name, badge number?
Keep moving.
Come out here.
Keep moving.
Come out here, bitch. I'm on public easement. Fuck you.
Okay. Have a day.
Fuck you. Hey, fuck you, you fucking. Fuck you, fucking
Have
nigger.
a great day.
Fuck you, you fucking nigger.
Excuse me?
I just called you a fucking nigger. What are you gonna do about it? I just called you a fucking nigger.
6
Fuck you, nigger. Nigger on film. You fucking dumbass nigger.
Keep moving.
Fuck you, nigger.
Keep moving.
Fuck you, nigger. Public easement. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Keep moving.
Public easement, bitch.
Keep moving.
Public easement. Fuck you. Public easement, bitch. Fuck you, nigger. You are my nigger. You work for me. You are my slave. You work for me. Listen, buddy, you're gonna arrest someone. Come over here and fucking try to arrest someone. You'll be put down, dude. Fuck you. Don't lie. You're on camera, bitch. You are on camera, bitch. You are on camera and you're gonna be exposed. Shut the fuck up. Think you're fucking big and bad? You ain't big and bad on the street. Trust me, buddy. Yeah, be a quiet little spook. You are my spook. You work for me. I pay your salary. Listen to me, spook. I brought you from Africa, you motherfucker. I brought you from Africa, motherfucker. You are my bitch. Fucking piece of shit. Public fucking easement. Go suck a dick, bitch. Suck a fucking dick, bitch. You work for me. Shut the fuck up. You fucking dumb nick. Fuck you, nick. You are on film. You're going to be exposed to the world.
Yeah. So there it is. So for all the auditors out there that have been, attending all these protests and all that, so there is some straight up, racism right there. So share this. And if you don't denounce this guy as an auditor from the auditing community, I mean, I'm not even sure that he's even in there in the first place, but it's bullshit if you don't, it's hypocritical. So that's the video. Yeah, that's the video. I do want to commend real quick. I want to commend Officer Burke for his professionalism and staying calm in that situation, because it was unbelievable. I would have been, if that was me, I would have been through the fence. I would have been through the fence, chasing him.
Fighting words right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's the video. Share it. Like Kate already said, we're gonna get it out there tonight. So that's that. That's the show. If you haven't already hit the like button, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to the channel. The show will be back on Tuesday. I'm gonna try and make as many shows as I can for now until I can get back full time. But if I'm not around, just know that I am still with you all. And I am still moist. I am still moist.
Always moist.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Tuesday night, 10 p.m. for Tuesday Night Trash Talk. We'll see you then.
And Glenn.